Favourite tube station?
Oh, I don't know. For some reason, I've always liked East Finchley Station. I think it's because it's got that archer on it. They've got a little kind of, and it's outdoors. I do like an outdoor station.
Yeah. Is that the one that got like the McDonald's literally there?
I think they got the McDonald's University, the University of McDonald's.
Basically, it's a purpose-built of McDonald's. Yeah. McDonald's is getting a lot of airtime. Best street food in London.
I mean, street food or street for food. I suppose. I mean, lately, I'm just going to say that the last one I went to because I think it's Petticoat Lane. Is it Petticoat Lane? Anyway, it's that road that leads down towards Aldgate. It's where Jack the Ripper wrote that graffiti. What's it called? It's called I've forgotten the something street graffiti. Anyway, it's there around there. It's I had an amazing falafel. I don't even like falafel, but they do such a good falafel there. They put halloumi in it and everything, so I was quite impressed. It goes kind of between Spitalfields and Aldgate Station, so it's a road up there. I can't remember what it's called.
Most bizarre law that still stands in London.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if these laws really still exist, but I think that you're still. I think if you're a free man of London or something, are you still allowed to be hanged by silk? Isn't that not the case? I think so. I think that there's something you're allowed to do all that stuff like sort of drive your sheep over bridges and
and
That's
things
what
like
that.
You were about to say,
And demand a taxi home for free or something if you can't afford it. But I think also what part of it is if you were sentenced to hang, you could request that you be hanged by silk.
If you could time travel to any era in London's history, when would you choose?
Other than about 1 hour ago, so I could redo this podcast, so I don't I come across as quite such a tit. I probably go with like sometime around the 1660s. I know it's a very dangerous time in London history because you've got the Great Plague and you've got the Fire of London. But it would be around then because I'd be able to check my theory that it was actually Sir Christopher Wren who started the Great Fire of London, so that he could get lots of work out of it. That's why I'm sticking to it. I mean, I know it's controversial, but I think there's quite a lot of sort of good characters around there. And you've got King Charles II, you've got Nell Gwynn, who's his mistress, and Samuel Pepys was around then. So, there's a lot of famous, cool characters around there. I'd like to see what it was like.
Aside from your own terrific books, what's your favourite book on London?
My favourite book on London, I recently read. It's very difficult. You asked me that. I wasn't expecting that question, but I think there was a very good one called People of the Abyss, or People from the Abyss, or People of the Abyss by Jack London. He's an American. He wrote Call of the Wild, I think.
Okay.
I think he wrote Call of the Wild. Anyway, it's a bit like Down and Out in Paris and London. He decided to dress up as a homeless person and try and live life as a homeless person around 1900. And he goes into all these workhouses and sleeping on the streets and stuff. It is really fascinating to hear his stories about how all the people he ran into and how life was. It's really wretched, difficult existence, but highly recommended. Interesting book.
That is really interesting. What if you could have a pint with any historical figure? Who would you be?
A pint with a historical figure. Well, I was about to say Nell Gwynn actually, just because I thought, well, it'd be quite nice to have a drink with a nice young actress, or actor. Sorry. But I mean, she'd be kind of cool, fun.
Yeah.
She'd spill the beans on King Charles II. It'd be kind of quite fun because people often feel inclined to say someone very erudite and everything, but I think don't forget you're having a pint with them in a pub somewhere, so you want them to be a good laugh.
Yeah,
so she strikes me as being a bit of a laugh. So yeah, Nell Gwynn, the mistress of King Charles II, as long as he didn't sort of have my head chopped off.
If you could swap jobs with somebody for a day.
Well, I mean, he no longer does this job, unfortunately, but I always felt that my favourite job would have been Richard O'Brien's in the Crystal Maze. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I think Richard Ayoade did it for a while as well.
Yeah.
So, but the presenter of the Crystal Maze that I always felt that guy's got my job. That's my job. That is, I want that.
I could see you doing that very well. I had a sort of... What jobs have you come across in London that still exist that people might not realise? Like, you have this fascination with stink pipes. Is there a sort of stink pipe cleaner?
Well, I don't think there is, but you do still... I mean, a chimney sweep is still a job.
Yes.
I mean, I like the fact that chimney sweeps still exist. And it is still, supposed to be good luck to shake hands with them or what have you. So all that Mary Poppins stuff is lovely.
We had a chimney sweep come around the other day, and his business was thriving. It was growing pretty rapidly.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I didn't know you're actually allowed to use your chimneys. I suppose you can get smokeless fuel and whatever. But yeah, that's a very charming job. And not that long ago, I saw... Well, I mean, a lot of people don't realise that a peddler still exists. I mean, I'm an expert on peddlers, by the way. I've been in Parliament in select committee talking about peddlers' rights.
Have you?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, the blasted City of Westminster Act. They tried to outlaw peddlers, and they tried to change the definition of a peddler of someone who goes from... They tried to change it from someone who's just an itinerant salesman to somebody who has to go from door to door, which means that a lot of the London local authority have now adopted that act, which is a pity for peddlers because, in other parts, because it's supposed to... A peddler certificate governs the whole of the UK, so you can anyone over the age of 17 can get a peddler certificate, sell your shoes, sell, watches or, beans or whatever it is you want to do, by walking around and moving around. But in London, it's a bit more difficult and you're supposed to go door to door, apparently, although we argue that it's still, you can still use it in London. But I saw one of those guys, the knife sharpener guys, and they go around with a machine. It was this guy, he's a really old kind of like characterful bloke. And he's got one of those cries, and you can hear him walking down there. And it's almost like seeing a rag and bone man. It's kind of really old-fashioned thing, but it wasn't that long ago. It was a couple of years ago I saw him, and I thought, God, I've got to use him. And so I brought out some knives, and there he was, and everyone was walking past making fun of him. But I thought he was great. I love to see those sorts of people still operating.